Parker. I'm an interior designer, and I've been doing interior design for about 20 years now. And in that world, I saw a lot of things that really bothered me and did not align with my values. And some of that, the things off the top of my head were just like huge water use on these massive landscaping projects where, you're in Northern California where there's not a lot of water to spare and people are fighting over water for farming and whatnot, and, importing taxidermied animals, which, makes hunting a trophy, and just the conspicuous consumption of it all. But I was just one small person in this, larger scheme of things, and I knew that sustainability was important to me, but I also am somebody that has a lot of allergies, environmental allergies. And so from an early age, I started trying to figure out, well, I painted this wall and then I'm sick for 2 days, so how do I deal with this? So that's when I started learning about low and no VOCs, and that was way before it was like a commonplace. And when I left that large firm, I decided to contract to lots of different other interior designers, and I just thought there was just so many ways that we could just take one small step up and educate people on how important it is to use clean things inside their homes, and that impact spreads out to the rest of the world, really, because if somebody's using vinyl floors or vinyl wallpaper, anything, vinyl siding, wherever that's manufactured is gonna be polluting the area. The people that are working with it are getting cancer. It's just like, it's a horrible practice to use. And when we're doing outdoor furniture, there has to be a better way to have things. And everything's gotten a lot better, but how can we use outdoor furniture that the upholstery is not made with PFAS, that is the forever chemical? And I mean, some of the fabrics that I saw, they were literally coated in Teflon, and that's something that never disappears and never leaves your body. So what are some of the simple ways we can do that? And first, the easiest thing for me to talk to about people is just to be like, don't put vinyl in your house. That's not gonna be healthy for you. And everybody instantly perks up and they're like, oh really? And I said, yeah, it really drives up your indoor air pollution, and it's really unhealthy for your children. And if you have a gas stove, there's a lot higher instance of asthma in children and elderly. And so these are the things. And some people will push back, especially about the stove. That's the one I get the most pushback about. But some of the most famous chefs in America are using electric stoves. And so I reference those, and I have backup videos saying well, this is one of the best chefs in America at a Michelin star restaurant. If they can figure out how to use an electric stove, I think you probably can also. And, I think Ava, my biggest philosophy, aside from minimizing those toxins, is just reduce, reuse, recycle as much as possible. I meant to look up the amount of furniture that's thrown out in America every year, and I forgot to do it before this presentation, but it's somewhere like 34 million pounds a year in America. And that's because of all this disposable furniture that's made. And sometimes there's not other options because furniture is expensive. But my goal is to get people to buy things that are good investments that are gonna last them. And if they don't have the finances to do that, then let's just be patient and keep our eye on the thrift stores, because I am at the thrift stores, I don't know, every week, looking for furniture I can collect and then resell. And I mean, people are always shocked when they come to my studio, and a huge majority of the things were found, from inside consignment places, from estate sales, and I've fixed a lot of that up. So those are my top goals. Transportation is a really hard one for me, but what I've tried to do is I actually went to the East Coast recently to visit all the places in the East Coast where they make furniture in America. And a lot of those places are not only making furniture in America, but they're making textiles, they're using the neighbors' textiles, they're using like the lumber, the FLC lumber from, down the road. So even though they're these like really quite big companies, they're making an effort, and the more I can get in America, the less I can get off of large, ships that are polluting everything and whatnot, the better we all are. And with my clients, the best way to explain that to them is we're gonna have everything shipped to a warehouse. It's gonna sit there until every large piece is there, and then everything comes at once. And here that's a really easy pitch because there's not local receiving warehouses. I have to send it either to Denver or to Albuquerque. So I choose to send it to Albuquerque, so we're not less mileage and not making those multiple trips, because that's really, it adds up, because they only come for me. They don't have a backload. So let's see, what else? One of the things that I was really proud of, we bought a building on East 2nd Avenue, and we spent about a year and a half, 2 years renovating it. And like Chase was saying, I think our biggest challenges, even though Alpine Bank was great and helped us with our loan, it was finance, because we can only go so far in debt. So we've been in that building for 2 years now. We just passed the 2-year mark, but we have longer term goals of this is how we're gonna get solar on the building. We send our compost, it all comes home to me, and I give it to, Table to Farm and things like that. And I'm somebody, I'm like, with all these experts, I'm like, I'm not really that green. I'm not really that sustainable, because I'm part of this like industry of like, production and consumerism. But then I start talking to some of the people that I've hired, and they're like, oh, you mean this isn't recyclable? I'm like, oh, don't put that in there. And so just educating my employees, my interns, my contractors on, just good practices that they can take home is really great. Let's see. I would say the most important, for me, the best part is just educating people in our community, educating our clients. It's one at a time. I only do a few projects at a time, I'm very small. But I mean, we've already talked 4 clients out of using vinyl in their home. We've already talked 3 or 4 clients into swapping gas for electric in their kitchen. And the more I say, well, these clients did it, the more people are up for it. So